everyone, and welcome to another Bookmas video. Today I'm starting off a reading vlog. So it's already December 22nd. I should have started this vlog days ago, but I just didn't get around to it. It's been really busy actually, surprisingly, because I finished exams and I thought, things would be really chill and not much going on. It's been the complete opposite, but it's been good. I've had a lot of time with friends and family and it's been very special, just very busy. I have been managing to read and I'm really bummed out that I didn't start this vlog sooner because I just finished this book, which is A Holiday by Gaslight. 5 stars. I was obsessed and I'm so glad I loved this. I was actually a little bit nervous going in that I wouldn't love it as much. And I buddy read this with a group of lovely ladies and I'll have all their channels linked below, but we had an amazing time with this book. I think the majority of us loved it, so I'm really, really glad that I ended up adoring it. And if you like North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, I would highly recommend that book. It was incredible. So for the rest of this vlog, I don't really have any plans that are set in stone. It is Cloak and Dagger Christmas, and there are some prompts for the readathon that don't have to do with particular books, but they're kind of like activity prompts, like go out for a walk in the snow and read in nature, I think, or in the bathtub, but that's not getting filmed. But I do plan on going for a walk. Hopefully it's a little bit dark outside, but let's just go and enjoy the day and I'll take you guys along with me and share what I'm reading. Okay guys, so I just wanted to quickly show you the books that I plan on reading throughout the vlog. This first one is very long. I don't plan on finishing it until January, but I started Martin Chuzzlewit, and this is the next Charles Dickens book that I needed to read because I'm reading them in order of publication. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm 2 chapters in, so it's not like a lot has happened, but I missed Dickens' writing. That is just something that I always enjoy, even if I don't enjoy the storyline. So really, really excited to continue reading that. And then I started this classic, and I found this edition at a thrift store, and I think this edition is actually like a first edition or a second. It is from, let me find the year. It is from 1907, and the writing in it, this used to belong to Esther Heros, and you can see the ink is so faded. But this is the old Peabody Pew by Kate Douglas Wiggin, and this is like a very short country Christmas romance, and it's set in, I think, the late 1800s, so really, really cute so far. I've read like 10 pages, I think. Let's see. But yeah, it's very fragile. I have to be careful with it. It's very, very old, but kept in pretty good condition for a book this old. I also started, and by started, I mean I'm only 2 pages in, but I started Mistletoe and Murder, and this is a Daisy Dalrymple mystery. It, I think, is book 11. But this one, I was told you can just jump right into the series kind of like at any place. It's not really important to read them in order. So I appreciate when series are like that. And this one is for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, and it fulfills the first prompt, which is to read a book with an alliterative title. So Mistletoe and Murder, 2 M's. And I've heard great things. This one is set in Cornwall in the 1920s, and I'm just so excited to continue with it. This one I'm also listening to on audio, so while I'm working on a puzzle, I'll probably continue listening to it. And then I'm halfway through this book, I think a little bit more than halfway, and I'm loving it so much. This is definitely going to be a 5 stars for me. And that is The Last Christmas in Paris. This is a novel by 2 women, Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. And I cannot believe that 2 different people wrote this book, like 2 people working together, because the writing itself is just, it flows so beautifully. And it's like this book was just written to perfection. It's all through letters, except for a couple parts where our main character in the future is kind of reflecting on World War I and the letters that he wrote to this girl, Evelyn, and then her letters back to him. And so the majority of this book is told through letters. I love epistolary novels so much. I'm just eating this up. I'm obsessed. And I'm buddy reading this with Mitzi, but she's already finished it. So I need to get on it and finish the book because it's incredible. And I'm just so happy. So these are the 4 books that I plan on reading throughout the vlog. I might start another one, I might not. It really depends on how busy things get. It is the 22nd, like I said earlier, so Christmas Eve is in a couple days. We have church and then a family dinner and then Christmas Day. It's gonna be busy, so I guess we'll see what I can get done, but I'm really, really excited about each of these books and take you guys along with me as I'm reading them. And I also wanted to show you guys some puzzles that I have, and I don't know which one to do first. One of them I already did, but I did it with my sister, and I might do it again just because it's a really quick one. Let me just grab it. But that one is this Nutcracker puzzle, and if you know anything about me, you know I'm obsessed with the Nutcracker. Absolutely obsessed. So this one is really, really cute. And it is the Gallison brand, and they are great. So there's that one. And I have a couple more Gallison, actually. I have this 1,000 piece one. The Nutcracker one is 500 pieces, and this one's 1,000. But this one is quite easy to do as well. It's really easy to organize your pieces, just, you know, by color. It's very stark differences in color and shades and everything. So that's an option, but it is 1,000 pieces, so I'm not quite sure if I'll do it. And then another 500 piece Gallison puzzle is the 12 Days of Christmas. This one would be very appropriate to work on because Cloak and Dagger Christmas, it is based on the 12 Days of Christmas. So this is probably gonna happen. And like I said, I'll listen to an audiobook while working on it. This next one I'm obsessed with, and oh my gosh. This was gifted to me by an American friend. I'm Canadian, but look at this puzzle. Just look at that. How gorgeous, how beautiful. So I might do this one as well. Okay, and then this last one, completely covered in dust, but it is a holiday market and it is so cute. This one is the Haubrey brand, and they sell a lot of these ones at Indigo. I'm obsessed. This one's 1,000 pieces as well. Or no, this one's 500 actually. So I could probably work on this as well. I think for the vlog, I'm gonna work on this one first. And then this one would probably not take too long if I have time. I highly doubt it, but if I have time, then this one as well. So this is the priority. But puzzles, books, it's just gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go make some hot chocolate now and then sit down to read. So let's go make some hot chocolate. Guys, oh my goodness, this book. So I didn't tell you what it's about, but World War One, we have this girl, Evie, and her brother and her brother's best friend, Tom, go to war. They're drafted. They're fighting in France and I think other countries too, but I think it was mainly in France. But Evie is in London and they're just writing back and forth. There are letters between Evie and her brother, Evie and Tom, Tom and Evie, etc. And I don't know how an author can make a story flow so beautifully when the entire thing is told in letters. Like, I don't know how it's done. It's just this book. Honestly, it's one of the most heartwarming and uplifting books that I've read in a long time. And I don't think anyone can understand fully what war really means and what it's like unless they've lived through it. But stories like this just make me, I don't know what the right word is, but I'm struggling to articulate how I feel, but it's just, I'm so grateful for the peace that I do have in my own life when I read stories like this. And I also appreciate that it's not heavy on like war jargon and everything. It's very much a relationship between two people who are writing back and forth to each other. It very much does start off, they're friends. Evie and Tom are just friends. But as the letters, as the years go by, as they continue writing letters, it kind of starts to feel like maybe something else is kind of, developing between them. But I'm just, like, my heart is just so full every time I pick up this book to read it. And I've teared up a few times. It's very tragic, but there is an uplifting element to it. And it's such a beautiful story. And I'm just loving it. This is definitely going to be 5 stars, like hands down 5 stars. Obsessed. I'm going to keep reading and I'll get back to you guys soon, but just loving it so much. Hey everyone, so I showed you guys that I'm making dinner, but while the schnitzel is frying, I'm reading, and there is this part that I need to read to you guys. So our main character, Evie, she, like I said, has been writing letters to Tom, and she has kind of been like discouraged because she can't go and fight. She can't do, everything that Tom is doing. So what she's been doing in the meantime is writing for a newspaper. She writes a column in the paper, and it's called A Woman's War, and one of the entries is just amazing. It's not like a spoiler for the story, but I just wanted to read it to you guys. So this was very, very inspiring. She says, "Conscription has seen the last of our men dispatched to war. Whatever our individual thoughts on the morality of compulsory conscription, fate and politics will always have the final say. Men of all ages and standing are gone." The context behind this is the men of England have just been conscripted to go fight in the war. It's become mandatory. "The farmer no longer tends his crops. The bus driver no longer smiles a cheery hello. The postman no longer cycles along the lane. We are a nation of women, and we that are left must now stand taller than ever before, dust off our pride, roll up our sleeves, and do our bit. We may think that we lack the skills, the strength, the physical ability to do some of the jobs required. But how do we know if we don't try? Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. We choose to learn how to fish, don't we, brave women of Britain? Just as our courageous soldiers must learn to fight and kill and survive, so must we learn to keep this country on its feet, to bring food into the home and maintain law and order on the streets, and to keep everything running like clockwork, ready for when they return." And then she just finishes it off by saying, "I urge you all to find a way to help, however small it may seem. Together we can do extraordinary things and keep the home fires burning. Until next time, courage." And this is the kind of woman that she is. Evie is just brimming with encouragement. And even in her own trauma, even in her own pain and sorrow, because she was not, she didn't miss out on any sorrow. She experienced her own personal tragedy because of the war in the story, but she's just so strong. And I just love her so much. And every single letter that she writes to Tom is just brimming with either encouragement or just acceptance that this is the state that things are in and you just need to keep going. And I love this character so much. She's amazing. So I just wanted to share that. Back to the schnitzel, and then I'll probably catch up with you guys later on in either the evening or once I finish the book. Hey friends, it is the next day. It's the 23rd, and I was gonna get some nice relaxing walking in for the one prompt for Cloak and Dagger Christmas that has to do with walking in nature. That's not gonna happen. It is minus 27 outside. It is freezing, and I have to shovel, so we're gonna count the shoveling for that prompt. So I just got inside, I was shoveling with my siblings, and my hair is sopping wet. I'm frozen, so I'm gonna go make a coffee and sit down and get some reading done. Let's just go and make a hot cup of amazing coffee. Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. It's the morning of the 24th. I can't believe it's already Christmas Eve. I'm so excited. I am really looking forward to today, what the day is going to hold. A lot of reading, and in the evening we're going to a Christmas concert at not my church, but it's my cousin's church. So it's going to be really fun. And then in the evening after the concert, we're going to my aunt's house, and we're probably going to be there until 4 or 5 in the morning. That's usually how it is on Christmas Eve. But I am really looking forward to it, and we'll definitely be bringing books because after a while socializing gets to be a bit much. So I always bring books with me when we go. But I'm just so excited. And last night I actually finished a book, and I was just too emotional to talk about it. I cried for a good 10 minutes. It shattered my heart. The Last Christmas in Paris. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This book. So I don't remember exactly what I said about it, if I gave like a rundown of what it's about earlier in the vlog, but it's set during World War I, and the majority of the book is just letters from a male character to a female character, and then there are also other side characters that write letters to the main two characters and then receive letters, and they're really there to help the plot move forward. But our main female character, Evelyn, she goes by Evie, she is writing letters to Tom, who is her brother's best friend. Tom is off fighting in the war, and I don't even have words. Like, I don't know how to articulate my thoughts about this book, because it impacted me on such a deep level that putting those feelings into words is just such a struggle. But Evie and Tom, they're writing letters to each other. Tom is fighting on the front, and Evie is basically like just dying to do something for the war effort. She starts writing for a newspaper, and she writes these columns that are meant to encourage women who remained home in England during the war. And it was such an interesting way of portraying Evelyn's personality. And this is a major strength of this book, is that through letters, we're still able to get a feel for how the characters act and speak and their mannerisms. And I don't understand how through letters I feel like I know the characters, and the characterization was on point. The plot had a really good flow considering it's epistolary. I was really, really surprised. And because I was buddy reading this with Mitzi, just the conversations we had about it were so great and made me love the book even more. This book basically centers around Evie and Tom's desire to spend Christmas in Paris, and how they keep having to push it back because of the war. It's just not ending, and they were expecting it to end in 1914 when it started, and that didn't happen, and it kept going and going until 1918. And oh my goodness, the last few letters and the very last section / epilogue had me in tears. This book, I'm gonna be thinking about it for a very, very long time, and it's a perfect Christmas read if you want something a little more emotional. And it's not as festive, but I didn't even care. It was just so heartwarming. And I've also been reading Mistletoe and Murder, and I listened to about this much of it on audio while working on a puzzle, and you would have seen footage of that puzzle. That was really, really fun. But this book is also really, really fun. I love how it's written. It is so cozy, and it really makes me feel like I'm there with the characters. The murder hasn't happened yet, so after about a third of the way, I kind of wish it would have started, but we're really getting to know the characters. But I don't mind so much because we're getting to know the characters, and this book is quite far into the series, so a lot of life events have happened for our main character, Daisy, that I don't know about because I've never read a book with her before. I haven't read any of the earlier books in the series, so things like her getting married and her adopted daughter, I have no idea how, her relationships came to be. But I feel like this book does a good job of giving you enough information without giving you a complete and long backstory. It gives you just enough to get to know the character and feel like, okay, I'm not really missing out on anything. I'm not feeling lost, like, what on earth is Daisy talking about, kind of thing. So I really like that about this book. And the writing is great. I have read a couple cozy mysteries where the mystery itself wasn't terrible, but the writing just really detracted from my interest. This one, though, the writing is really, really good. Like, I am just transported into 1920s Cornwall with these characters around Christmas time. There are a couple kids as well who get up to a lot of shenanigans, and they're just so fun to follow. This book is really, really fun, and I really can't put it down when I do read it. I just couldn't stop listening to it while working on the puzzle. It was really, really great. So I'm going to aim to finish it today. I'm going to try. I think I can, because I have about 5 hours left on the audiobook, and if I listen on like at higher speed, I can get this done. But loving it so much. And I also read another chapter of Martin Chuzzlewit, but I don't really have many thoughts about the book. It's very early in the book. Not much is happening. We're just getting introduced to a huge cast of characters, as usually happens with Dickens. But this book I will talk more about in my December wrap up, and I'm probably going to finish it in January. So I'm not going to mention it again in this vlog, but just want to let you guys know that I am reading it and enjoying it. And then we have one more book here. I always forget the title. It's The Old Peabody Pew. This one I am, how far? Let's see, I think 20 pages in, 19 pages. So not too far. And thoughts, it's kind of cute. It's a really simple story. It's a perfect, like, quick, cozy Christmas read. So this I think I will finish today as well. I also have so many Christmas books on Kindle, like a lot. I don't know what to read. We have like some classics. I have The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by Frank L. Baum, and I think he's the author of The Wizard of Oz, but that seems like a short one, a cute one. And then we just have so many Christmas books with really cute covers. One that I really want to read is Take a Look at the 5 and 10, and this one is a sci-fi Christmas novella. It's really short. So I think my goal is to just read a lot of short stories tonight. So, and there's some other like romance Christmas books that I was interested in, like A Convenient Christmas, Christmas Lights and Snowball Fights. But I think the one that I might start, and even if I don't finish it until after Christmas, that's completely fine, is A Texas Christmas Carol by Karen Whittemore. It sounds really good. So before I go read, this was super random, but I went on Instagram and I was just curious to hear some of your Christmas like traditions and stuff, and some of them sound so cute, so I'll share them with you guys. I love hearing people's Christmas traditions, what they like to do with their family, and what Christmas traditions they have on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, etc. And these are just some great answers. So someone said a sibling gift exchange on Christmas Eve, and I think that's really great. I definitely prefer gift exchanges where you have one person within the family to give a gift to rather than having to buy a gift for everyone, because it gets expensive. So kind of like a Secret Santa type situation with your family, but it's not always secretive. And then someone else said decorating the tree, looking at Christmas lights, opening stockings, and a pizza party on Christmas Eve. Love it. Then there's tree decorating and baking cookies with my mom, driving around looking at Christmas lights, Christmas Eve games. I love that. I love board games. I'm assuming you're talking about board games. Baking cookies, making cinnamon rolls on Christmas morning, and then my mother-in-law's cookies that I make. She passed away. Oh, that's really sweet. Let's see what else. Exchanging little gifts with my 4 sisters and binge watching The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings extended editions. That's awesome. Let's see what else. Just a couple more. Watching the Polar Express and having hot cocoa on Christmas Eve. Love it. And just doing a lot of Christmassy things with my kids. Love it. We have traditions too, for sure. And I actually was invited by an amazing friend, Kate Howe, on her channel to talk about cozy things. And a lot of my cozy things that I mentioned are things that we do around the Christmas season. So I'll link that video below if you are interested. It was really fun. But I think my absolute favorite thing about Christmas in general, besides, you know, celebrating Jesus' birth and church and worshiping him and all of that, I think my favorite thing is just the aesthetic and decorating and the trees. And we are so extra. We have 2 trees. So we have the main tree that you saw earlier in the video, and then we have a very skinny tree, but it's pretty tall. It's in our front hallway, and I'll insert a little clip of it. And then my favorite thing is decorating the front buffet area, and it has a nutcracker and this deer, and it's just so fun to decorate it. It looks so cozy, and I love walking in when I get home, when I'm out and about and I get home and then I see that on the buffet. It's just really great. And a new tradition that I started with my sisters and definitely want to keep up is making advent calendars. So we actually made an advent calendar. I bought these pouches off of Amazon, and they were filled with chocolate as well as prompts. So each day of December, it had a different activity prompt, and that was our activity for that day. Anywho, so I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna read. There are a few hours before I have to get ready for the concert, so let's go read, and then we will go to church and then the Christmas party. Hey everyone, so I'm just getting ready to head out for the concert and then my aunt's house. And before I do, I just wanted to quickly let you know that I finished Mistletoe and Murder and I had a really great time with it. I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5/4 stars. It was really fun, and I feel like considering it's so late in the series, I wasn't confused about the characters and I really felt like I could connect to the main characters. And I have to say that my favorite part about this book was the relationship between our main character, her husband, and her adopted daughter. I think that in and of itself made this book a really enjoyable one. The mystery was good. It just wasn't anything crazy, out of this world. But just as a cozy mystery, as a historical cozy mystery, I think this was great. And I definitely want to read the other books in this series. But I think rather than starting at the beginning, I'll just read what I have, because I have a bunch that are like book 21, 22, things like that. I don't have any of the early ones, but I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really fun, and I would definitely recommend, if you are looking for a quick and fun cozy mystery that doesn't require a lot of your mental energy, this is definitely a great one. But yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the book with you, and then I will see you guys later on. I think I will bring you along with me to my aunt's house, but no promises, but hopefully I'll see you later. Hey everyone, so I just got home from the Christmas dinner and it ended up actually being really, really nice. My social battery lasted a little longer than I was expecting, and I had some great conversations and just fellowship with family, so I didn't really film and I didn't really feel comfortable filming all that much, but I did read a little bit, and it is 2 a.m, just got home, but I plan on reading more. It's Christmas Eve. I'm gonna stay up as late as I can physically handle and read a little bit more. I want to read more of A Texas Christmas Carol, which I'm actually really enjoying. I think it's really cute. And then I really want to start to take a look at the 5 and 10 and see if I can finish the old Peabody Pew. But it's been an amazing day, and I hope that Christmas Eve has been incredible for each of you. And I know this is a really hard time of year for a lot of people, so just know that I'm thinking of all of you and praying for you. And if you have any specific prayer requests, please leave them in the comments. If they're personal, you can reach out to me on Instagram, but just know that you're not alone. I know it's a hard time for a lot of people, but I'm just grateful for the blessed time that I had today, and I'm really excited for tomorrow. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited for Christmas Day. So I think this is my last clip of the night, but I will see you all in the morning or afternoon if I end up sleeping in, and we'll chat then. everyone. So it is Boxing Day. It's the 26th of December and I'm gonna try to film this video as quickly as possible so I can upload the entire vlog tonight. But I just wanted to check in with you guys just about what I've been reading, and I managed to finish a few stories today. So I finished The Old Peabody Pew, and this one I ended up giving a 2.75 out of 5, and I rounded it up to 3 on Goodreads. This one was okay. It was really short and sweet and kind of cute, but there was definitely something lacking from this book. It is a very, very short story, and it's a very innocent and not very deep romance, and it's set, I'm pretty sure, in the late 1800s in America. And so we're just finding out about this couple who it's kind of like a second chance romance, but it's just so surface level that I didn't really connect to any aspect of the story, any of the characters. But it was a very, very fun read, very short and sweet, and I don't regret reading it. I think it was a great book to cozy up with on the couch in the evenings, and it was overall okay. So 2.75 out of 5. I also read A Texas Christmas Carol, and this one was so cute. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars out of 5, and oh, I just loved it so much. This one is a retelling of A Christmas Carol by Dickens, which I actually didn't know going in, and the title is pretty obvious, but I didn't know that going into the story. And our main character, his name is Evan Beezer, I think, Evan Beezer, and so it's kind of a twist on Ebenezer Scrooge, and I just love that so much. And then our female main character, who ends up becoming the love interest, she is such a great character. And this story, their dynamics, their banter, just everything about it was so fun. And I have to say, the faith in this story was amazing. Like it honestly, it was so good. I loved this book so much. I don't want to talk too much about the book now because I will be giving a more in-depth, look at my thoughts during my December wrap-up video, so I'll talk more about it then. But it was such a great book. The romance was very sweet. I loved it. And I also read the short story by Amanda Dykes, Can Serenade, and this one is 5 stars. It's 30 pages. That's how short it is, but oh my goodness, it captured my heart. Like I said, it's a very short story, just 30 pages, but the main characters are 2 children, and they live across this small body of water. So they live across from each other, and it's historical fiction, but it didn't really specify when or where it takes place. But honestly, that didn't really matter. But the 2 children are sending little notes back and forth to each other, and they're doing this in a tin can, basically. And the young girl, her mother, and the young boy's father seem to have some sort of history, and so we're learning about it through these kids and them figuring things out. And it is so precious. And Amanda Dykes, her writing is just so beautiful. She is 100% one of my favorite authors now. And I just wanted to read one poem from the beginning of the book. There's a poem at the beginning and a poem at the end, and it's just so beautiful. So the first one at the beginning, it says, 2 homes in the mountains, snowed in for winter's keep, a river in between them, a rope tight o'er the deep, a mother and her daughter, a father and his son, a cottage and a cabin, a story yet unspun. But time did freeze a tin can, dangling from that rope, a messenger from days gone by, echoing long-lost hope. Until a cold November day saw decades fall away, young hands inscribed a folded scrap, a missive sent to say, and then their notes to each other. And it's so cute. This was 5 stars. Just so precious. And then I have also been reading Take a Look at the 5 and 10 by Connie Willis, and this one is a sci-fi Christmas story, and I haven't really seen any sci-fi elements yet. This one I am about 20% of the way through, and it's basically about this main character named Ori, and she is really overwhelmed with her family holiday get-togethers, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of it, because her family situation is just a little out of whack. She has like the stepdad who was married like I don't know how many times, and his current wife now has this grandma, and the story centers around this grandmother's memories of working in this Christmas shop. And we have this character who's interested in said grandmother's memory and seeing if there's some trauma in her past. And just the story itself doesn't quite make sense to me yet, but I feel like I need to read a little more to gain a fuller understanding of what's happening. But the dynamics between the family members at this Christmas dinner, it's very funny, very, very witty humor and very quirky people. So that is, take a look at the 5 and 10. And I think that that's going to be it for this vlog. I think I'm just going to close it off here. I had such a great Christmas and I hope that you all did too. As you would have seen last night, I spent some time at my grandparents' house with my siblings, and we had some very simple but traditional Romanian food as well as desserts, and then we worked on a puzzle, and it was just a whole lot of fun, and my grandparents are just, they're the best. So I hope you all had an amazing Christmas, and that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around till the end, it was a long vlog, that's for sure. But I hope to see you all in my next Bookmas video. Bye!